Welcome to the stream. Boss fights are on the menu again today at levels 150713. Going to play for an hour and then switch to something E.
Like my nose is stuffy. Sorry if you can hear me breathing while I'm playing this game. My apologies. I went back and watched one of my streams and I could hear me breathing through my nose. Make an adjustment real quick. Like this time of year is always tricky temperature wise for me, because what I've learned is like I always feel like I'm hot no matter what, and so I normally have my air conditioner set around 74, 75, but the thing is the temperature outside is starting to get into the lower 70s, so my air conditioner is not kicking on, and the air here just feels like really steel and really heavy after a while. And it's like I use fans and stuff like that, but I like cooler air than I guess the temperature. And I know it sounds weird. I'm sure there's some other things I could do. I could probably, instead of wearing jeans inside, I could probably wear shorts, and that probably would help. But it's like I just want to feel some cool air blowing, so I have to turn the air conditioner down to like 71, just so that it'll kick on and off and keep it cooler in here just for a little bit. It's like crazy. But yeah, we're just going to do our standard boss fights today, nothing too spectacular. And then maybe switch over to a new game after this. Hold on a second, I'm going to adjust. I'm still getting used to this headset. This is a different one than what I used before. My apologies if the audio quality isn't as good as maybe in some of my previous videos. I'm still kind of working out the settings. I've not been watching my old videos as much as I used to, so...
Welcome to the stream. Boss fights are on the menu again today at levels 150713. Going to play for an hour and then switch to something E.
Dirty dog. Let's go, brother. Yup. How you get iframes? How'd you power stance through it? He didn't get iframes, excuse me. He power stance through it. That's cool. I see how it is. You got like infinite poise when you do certain attacks. See, that's a trick in the game that a lot of people, it may be something that you're familiar with but don't know how to do. There are certain attacks and certain skills in the game that basically cause you to do something called a power stance. And when you get into a power stance, you cannot be interrupted, and you also won't stagger when you're being attacked. and so you'll see the computer do it a lot. The bosses almost always power stance, like they can power stance pretty much everything. Melania, she has some stagger, like some crazy stagger, and Mesmer does too, if you hit them the right way. But bosses like General Radon and stuff like that, they don't really stagger. They power stance pretty much do everything. This guy has the uncanny ability to power stance when he wants to, and I still don't understand it. So you almost have to fight him like a boss if you're not going to cheese him. I'm going to cheese him this time just because he pissed me off. Get up, boy. Just because I wanted him dead. It was more of a revenge kill than anything. But yeah, certain moves allow you to power stance. I don't remember them all off the top of my head because I don't use as many of the other weapons as I used to. But yeah, if you're interested, look online and search the term power stance and Elden Ring. If you're a PvP player, knowing what allows you to power stance is very advantageous in a fight, especially if you're a strength build. If you're a dex build, you really can't power stance through a lot of things. Dexterity attacks a lot of times can get interrupted pretty easily. But if you are a strength build or you're wearing like heavy armor, power stancing is like clutch. May not get a lot of call-ups today, but we'll do the standard. We'll play for about an hour, so I'll stop at noon and maybe switch to a different game. This is just sort of I think Elden Ring has turned into my video game warm-up. It's like if I decide that I'm going to sit down and play a game, I don't know why. I start with Elden Ring first, and then I usually go to something else, so... If you're wondering, in the past, that's all I ever really played. Like, if you look at like older videos from like a year ago, 2 years ago, you really don't see much variety. I'm trying to start playing some of the other games that I have that I've not played either in a while and didn't stream, or games that I've never played. I'm thinking about, I have a game that is made by Square Enix, so the same people that make Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts and stuff like that. I'm thinking about maybe jumping into that one after I wrap this up. But like I said, we'll see how busy things are. As always, my trick to getting caught up quickly is, first of all, you rate all these guys, because by rating somebody else's message, it sends out an outbound message. So basically, if you write a message and you put it down, if somebody rates your message while you're playing, it will actually fill up your health bar. It'll put your health bar full. In the time that I've been playing, I have like messages that are out there, and you can see they've been rated pretty good. Like, you know, you're always gonna get people that are gonna mark poor and stuff. It's just the nature of the beast. I always anticipate about 10% of people will put poor, because I feel like 1 out of every 10 Elden Ring players is a shithead. So that's normal to me. But like I said, every time somebody, whether they say good or poor, if they rate your message, you get a full health bar increase. So it is to your benefit to put some of those messages down and just kind of scatter them out, you know, all over the game, because I've been in boss fights before and been low on health, and somebody must have hit my message while I was in the fight. I mean, you don't know somebody's in a boss fight when it happens. You just, you know, you see the message on the ground, you walk up to it, you know, you hit triangle, and then you just say, all right, whatever, you know, good. And somebody must have done that while I was in the boss fight just by coincidence, and it filled up my health. It was definitely something wonderful. So I do like to pass that little bit of thing on. So, folks, I'm going to switch locations because I find sometimes by moving on the map, and I'll tell you actually a little nifty little trick if you didn't know. Elden Ring, the way that it was developed and the way that this map works is actually pretty interesting. It seems like it works on a grid-based system, and if you're in an area that is more populated, where there's more, points of grace, more enemies, like more stuff kind of going on, um, you may notice sometimes it takes longer to load. If you have a PS5, you probably don't see it as much, but I have a PS4 Pro, and so you'll see it sometimes. It's like my load menus seem like they're pretty long. One way that I've learned to get around long load menus is if you actually go to a part in the map where there's not a lot of activity, or that's considered to be like an isolated region. And a couple of isolated regions in the game that I've learned are here at the Elden Throne, especially like once you get here, going up the steps and getting close to the fog gate where you go to fight Radagon and the Elden Beast. If you drop a sign there, your load times get tremendously better. And the other one that's actually really good is this one down here where Astel is. The converse is, since it's a pretty dead zone, there's nearly nothing for me to do while I'm waiting. And so usually if I go here and I'm waiting for a boss fight, I'm doing other stuff in the background, like either I'm eating, or maybe looking at an article or something like that, or going through my phone and looking at stuff on LinkedIn or different message boards and stuff like that, reading the news. But if you do have a PS4 or a PS4 Pro and you get really annoyed by your load times, and if you're looking to do PvP or you're looking to do boss fights, my recommendation to you would be to come here and activate whatever you're going to activate, do it here. So for me, it's going to be this effigy thing, and so I'm going to send out an APB from here. And I want you to notice the amount of time that it takes for me to load in once the fight is done, like how quickly it'll load back up. And the reason why is because this particular spot right here in the map is so far away from everything else, and when Astel is gone, there's nothing else to do here. So all the game has to do is load the background and load you, versus having to load the background and then all of the enemies in the background, and then all the other bits and bobbles and stuff like that. You're probably asking, well, why don't I just go here and do it? There are certain places in the map where you're not allowed to use your call sign. And one of them in particular is at the Divine Towers. And I don't know if that was an intentional thing by the game. It sort of makes sense to me from what I understand of the story why you're not allowed to use those things there. And I think it has to do with even though America is a quote-unquote god, she still has limits to her power. Like, the greater will is still, I believe, still stronger than she is. And I also think that there are certain other gods, outer gods in the game, that are still stronger than she is. And I think the Divine Towers are related, or artifacts. They're not something that was built by America, and I don't think it was something that was built by the Lands Between. I think it was something that was built by another civilization in this game. And one way that I can prove that sort of is, and you're probably wondering, there's a mysterious spot on your map called the Four Belfries. And if you ever go here, you can use it to use the warp gates to go to different parts in the map and get some really cool like items and talismans and stuff like that. But there's really more to the Four Belfries than what just appears on the surface. We're about to get called up. Each of the belfries represent a fallen age. is essentially what it is. And so there was an age before the Erd Tree, and they make reference to that a lot of times, talking about the Crucible and talking about the giants and things like that. Each of those things represent an age. And so essentially there were three other ages before America's reign. And I think somebody in one of those three ages built that. I also believe that the tower that you go to fight Consort Radahn is also not built by the Hornsent. I think the Hornsent occupy that tower, but I don't think they actually built it. And I have evidence to prove that too. I think that tower was actually built by the Dynastics, the same people. So if you ever go underground and you get to where the Scarlet Rot stuff is, you see the statue of a man, looks like a big tall man holding like a tablet. He's got like roots and stuff coming out of him. That was an age, I believe, in this game. And I believe that age might have built the tower that Consort Radahn is in, the Divine Towers, and a lot of that other stuff. I think America occupies that stuff and calls it hers the same way the Hornsent occupy that tower and call it theirs. I still have this sneaking suspicion that the sort of premise of this game is based around the story of the Tower of Babel. And I think it's sort of a hybrid version of what would have happened if the tower got completed. If man were to be able to build a tower that could stretch all the way to the heavens. If you get invaded, I'm not going to help you at all. I'm going to allow you to get killed and have your one-on-one because you're wasting my time. Go ahead, keep jacking around. Keep jacking around. I'm gonna go extra slow when we get into this fight. Just to mimic what you just did right now, waiting because you couldn't. He's gonna die. It's over. See, I've learned over the years that people that wait that long are historically the weakest people in the game because they feel like they have to have two other co-op players to play. And I feel like me saying that is I'm not being mean. I'm not being, insensitive or anything like that. Don't do that. I'm not being a gatekeeper or anything else. Any of the words you want to use when you're mad because somebody doesn't want to do what you want them to do. Essentially, I'm a firm believer that if you want it bad enough, you're going to earn it. And you're not going to do dumb stuff, You're going to play in a way that makes sense. I don't even see how. Oh, I know how. I know how that happened. I jumped too early. I'm good. still don't really understand that move. You know, it's like if he would have killed those hands instead of if I didn't have to do that and stop and kill those hands, I could have fought the boss. But instead, he just kept running around the hands and trying to avoid them and doing everything but keeping the area clear. And so then they come to me, and I'm not going to do the same thing. It's just like, whatever. Dude was weak anyway. It's just annoying. People call you and then they stand there for 2 minutes. Keep hitting the thing. Keep hitting the thing, waiting for somebody to come that never comes. I will say this, that if that happens to you a lot, then it might be because you're on somebody's block list. Because I remember when I first started playing, the first time I played through this game, like all the way through, I didn't use co-op, not at all. I just did it on my own, like the base game. And I did it on my own up until about New Game 3, and then I started thinking, well, it's probably cool, you know, to let other people, you know, get a chance to play, you know, with you and against the boss, because not everybody likes PvP, like me. I'm not really a big PvP fan. And some people just want to fight some bosses, so let's create some opportunities for people. If I call you and you die, like as soon as we start, or some dumb stuff happens, I'm going to block you. And that means if I put you on my block list on PlayStation, not only can you not send me chat messages and friend requests and all that stuff, it's more than that. If you block somebody on your PlayStation, they cannot call you to fight, you cannot call them to fight, and that message pops up that says person unable to be called. And so if you get that message a lot, then that means you might be on somebody's block list. Now, it could also be that you know, sometimes there's connection issues and stuff with people's internets and they're not able to get through, or it's sort of an artifact that's there. But if you ever see it where it looks like somebody's trying to call me and it says unable to be summoned, and I'm just sitting still not doing anything, it's because that person is more than likely on my block list. And like I said, I'll block you in a heartbeat. If I see you doing dumb stuff, if I see you trying to set me up, I'm going to block you. Now, if you're out there giving it your honest effort and it looks like, you know, you're trying, then of course I'll come back again and we can try it again. But if you're trying to be all cavalier, and if I see you spamming moves and using people as human shields and stuff like that, nope, you're blocked. You're blocked immediately. So if you're playing and you get tired of getting called by the same people over and over again, and you get tired of people setting you up and stuff like that, don't reward them. Don't give them the opportunity to call you again. You don't have to be frustrated. Block them. Go inside of your game settings and you can actually, if you go to your friends tab on the PlayStation, there's a tab that says you know, games played together. If you go down there, you can see the last people that you played with. And the way I have mine set up is, it doesn't, when I play Elden Ring with other people, it doesn't show whatever name they made up for themselves. So if they call themselves Hot Dog McGee in Elden Ring, I don't see that. The only thing I see is their PlayStation ID name. So when I go into that list, I look for that person's PlayStation ID and I block them. Because it's not fun playing with people that want to play like that. Not for me. Now, if there's other people that enjoy that, that's your business, that's your prerogative, and you can play with them. I'm just not going to. And I've put people on the list, and then I've taken them off, and they, you know, magically start acting better again and stuff like that, or playing in a way that I feel is a little bit more decent, then they can stay off the list. But I have some people that are on my block list that have been on my block list for at least 2 years now. and I don't take them off ever, because every time I try to give them a chance to take them off and they call me back to some stupid fight, all they want to do is be goofy. They want to run away, they want to spam, they want to do cheese moves and stuff like that. They want to stand behind you and attack and use you for human shield, so that they're behind you, you know, shooting spells and doing all kinds of stuff, but they're directly behind you, so that when the boss turns and looks in that direction, they see you first and not them who's standing behind you. And now you start drawing aggro, and you're trying to figure out, why am I getting hit? Why am I drawing all this aggro? It's because somebody's standing behind you. And they'll get right outside of your camera range where you can't see them, and they'll just hang out there. And the reason why I know is because there's times that I've played and I've been drawing aggro, I'll unlock from the boss, I'll spin my camera, and here's this guy. And as I'm moving, he's moving with me, standing exactly behind me as I'm trying to move around the boss. And it's like, now I'm getting double aggro because he's mad because I'm hitting him, and now he's mad at you, but he always sees me first. And so, once again, after saying all that, it comes down to, I am never buying another From Software game again. This was my first From Software game that I ever bought. While it's been fun and I've met a lot of really cool people playing this game, a lot of the people that I've met are not cool. Not cool at all. So much so that I don't even want to support this stuff anymore. The only reason I play is because I get personal enjoyment out of playing this game, and I enjoy helping people that actually want to try. Not people that are trying to set me up, not people that are trying to cheese me. Like, I don't think the game is meant to be frustrating. I think the game is meant to be challenging. And there's a difference between those two words. You can be challenged without being frustrated. Frustration takes it to a level of kind of anger, sort of losing yourself, kind of getting beside yourself. You shouldn't necessarily get that way. If you do, my suggestion is put the controller down, take a break, kind of reset for a second. Because I've learned when I've been frustrated playing this game, I play worse than when I am focused on something. And so, but you might be different. You might be different. But, and that's, I think, the fun thing about the game, too, is that it does play to different styles. The bad thing is, because it plays different styles, this game, I feel like it draws a lot of trolls. A lot of people that just like to irritate other people. And I saw a lot of that when the game came out. People using broken weapons, broken skills when a lot of the patches weren't out yet, and they were doing it religiously. They were doing it like it was like drinking water, like they had to do it every day. And that stuff is annoying because you know the weapons are broken, you know the skills are broken, but you keep using them. The biggest one, when the DLC came out, and if you beat Midra, you can use his remembrance to get that sword that he has. And if you get that sword, the skill for that sword is that jump attack where he jumps up in the air, impales you through your head, and then the spears shoot out on the side. For a long time, that skill was broken, where you didn't even have to be near the person. Like, as long as you were in the general vicinity, if you jumped up in the air and came down, you always got stabbed in the head. Like, always got stabbed in the head. And it didn't make sense. And then all of a sudden, like, everybody was doing it because there were YouTube videos coming out saying, this is broken, FromSoft should fix it. And immediately, instead of people being like, okay, it's a broken weapon, maybe I shouldn't do that. No, everybody did it. Everybody did it until they fixed it. The same thing with, for a while when the DLC came out, those aromatics and stuff like that. These things, I'll show you. These things were broken. And people had figured out that if you use the dumpling thing with that talisman that you get from that little dude you got to parry in the Frenzy Woods and do some other little stuff, that you could be like really OP just throwing aromatics and stuff. And then the trick was using like Wall of Sparks or something like that as far as the skill. And so people were doing that all the time. And then FromSoft patched it, and then now you very rarely see people use aromatics. But for a while, like, aromatics was the thing because it was broke. And my thing is, so you're proud of yourself for beating a game that you bought because it was challenging and you like this or whatever, but the only way that you would play it is if it was broken or you could cheese it. It says a lot about you. I feel like it says a lot about you. I feel that if you got to feel like you got to cheat through everything, it makes me wonder how else you feel about other things in life. But that's just me. But after saying all that, it's your game. You paid the same money that I paid for it. You can play it any way you want to. Just don't play with me. Let's go. This is first time doing this one in this game playthrough because he didn't pick up that item yet. What are you waiting for? Do you see this? Do you see what we're looking at here? Do you see this? Do you see the host just standing there waiting for something to happen? And so, if once again, if we get invaded, I'm not going to help either of you. Not interested. Matter of fact, this is your countdown. If my shield runs out, I'm leaving. I don't know what you're doing. Did all that just so he could use the shackle from 15 miles away, not really even taking advantage of the shackle. Just dumb. I tell you what, one of the most ironic things about this game and mode is that he is weak to bleed. You would think that if you're the Lord of Blood, that your bleed would be through the roof, but somehow he is weak to bleed. Woo! Sorry, I'm on my soapbox today. This is like, some people irritate me. Normally I would block people like that, but you know what? I'm not even in the mood. Just let it slide. Let it slide. Alright, where are we going this time? I haven't fought like the big Moog in a while. That's sort of annoying about this game too. So the only way that you can fight the Moog that's where the cocoon is and get called in is if you have to be in that area. So for most other bosses, you can be anywhere in the map and you can still get called to that boss. But for some reason with Moog, you have to be in that area in order to get called up. Let's take them on. Woo! Oh, can you do it? That's how I play. I use the... That's nice. That's nice. Don't call people to help you if you can't live for more than like 20 seconds. You know, it's like at least you should be able to at least get, you know, past the first phase or get the boss at like half health or something before you call somebody in. It's just like, yeah, I learned the trick of blood tax is your best friend when you're fighting against bosses for a couple of reasons. Because if you use blood tax and you put bleed with it, not only are you getting 4 hits if you can land them all. So if I do blood tax with this weapon, and if I hit all 4 hits, so the boom and then the boom boom boom, basically it's 143 times 4, which is what do we got? 143 times 4. It's about 572 bleed damage, bleed accumulation in 1. So most people, their robustness, it kind of hovers around 400. So if I hit all 4 of my hits with blood tax, I'm going to pop you. If you are, when I say pop, basically you're a hemorrhage in PvP. And then the other good thing about blood tax is that you get your health back. So if you're fighting against a boss, instead of using up all of your little sippy cups, you can regenerate your health with blood tax. Blood tax uses a little bit more FP than the repeating thrust, but I feel like for the cost and what you get, totally worth it. Totally worth it. Still trying to figure out why that guy ran all the way over there to that corner and put himself up against the wall at the very beginning of the fight. Like that was pretty stupid, I think, because he sort of boxed himself in. Good for you. Glad you did that, so now I don't have to. Careful. That's good. That's good. a man used up all his good bleeds early. The host did. That was a mistake there, because nobody was using bleed at the beginning except for him, and he got a couple of good ones there at the beginning, and I think he thought in his mind that, oh, okay, all I got to do is hit him 3 times and he'll bleed again. But it's like, nope. Every time he bleeds, it goes up a little bit more. So it goes from 3 hits to 4 hits to 5 hits, sometimes up to like 8-10 hits before you can get it, depending on your new game level and the weapon that you're using. So you can't just be counting and saying, well, it was this many last time, because I've heard a lot of people make that mistake, where they're like, well, I don't understand why I can't beat the boss now. I beat him with no problem on New Game 2. Well, all of his resistances go up each time you do a new game. So if you're not able to raise the status like application, then it's going to take you more hits, which means you're not going to be able to do it as fast. And when you go up a new game, the bosses hit harder. So if you only got hit 2 times and you're like, oh, I was at half health, well, 2 times at New Game 6, it could be 3/4 of your life. And add on multiple more hits that you have to get before you get your status effect applied. It's like people just don't play smart. They want to cookie cut play the game. They want to go online. That's my thought. It's like they just want to go online and look up a build or watch a YouTube video and see somebody do something, and they want to be like, oh, I want to do that too. It's a lot more to it than that, I believe. You also have to look at how you play and your play style and your reflexes. I play a certain way because of my play style and my comfort factor and my reflexes. And you see, I don't really get hit that much, and I also maintain pretty good stamina. You don't see me getting stance broke where the shield gets knocked out of my hand. This might be a good fight. Yep, you can do all that. Do all of that. Do all that when we get in there. Do all that when the boss is there. That's fine. Use up all your FP. I don't care. Do that too. It's gonna wear off before you get to the boss. It's fine too. All of those things are wonderful. You see how his buff on his sword, it ran out. That black flame, when you apply it to your sword, only lasts for like 6 seconds. This guy's wasting time. The host is wasting time. It's okay. I'm going to take my time again. I'm not interested in going fast because you're not interested in going fast. Because he's all the way over there trying to cheese it. No. Take your medicine, sir. Don't even. I wasn't even going to do it. You should have let him go over there. Because the host is a coward. I don't play with cowards. I'm way too far. I don't know why I'm standing all the way back here throwing these. Partially because I'm not really interested in helping the host. There goes one. There goes two. You see? Do you see what I'm talking about? You see what just happened there? Little man, oh, he was so excited to get called up. I'm going to keep doing catch flame, catch flame, catch flame. I'm going to black flame my sword. I'm going to flame on the other guy. I'm going to jump around. I'm going to do my bloodhound step and then go in there and get killed before we even get to the second phase. Host, I'm going to take all day. I'm gonna take all day starting the boss fight up. I'm gonna try to stay back as far as I can so that everybody else gets hit but me. And then who dies? The host. Like I said, clowns playing this game. Complete clowns. And that's why I'm never gonna buy Night Crane, and that's why I'm never gonna buy another From Software game again. I have never played Dark Souls, and I don't intend to. I've never played Bloodborne. I've never played Sekiro. I've never played any of that. Demon Souls, none of the rest of that madness. Nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do
Welcome
it.
to the stream.
Not interested.
Boss fights are on the menu again today at levels 150713. Going to play for an hour and then switch to something E.
I think I am going to, for the last 15 minutes or so, I'm going to switch to level 150. So that way I get some more call-ups, because it's lonely when you get up to the higher levels sometimes for boss fights. I'm sure PvP is probably busy, but like I said, I don't really get any enjoyment. I don't know why. Like, there was a time when I did. There was a time when I really did enjoy doing PvP fights and doing the Coliseum. And I just got burnt out. I just got burnt out with it. Like, I just want to fight the bosses. I think a lot of it was I was getting tired of fighting against the same, like, cheesed out builds and stuff over and over again. It just got annoying. And me beating somebody else or losing to somebody else really doesn't prove anything to me. It doesn't, like, I don't get an adrenaline rush from being like, oh, I took that person down. It's never had that. According to my clock, I have 10 minutes. I'm going to say 15 because a lot of time was just kind of standing there. Then I'll take a break for about 10-15 minutes, and then I'm going to come back with this. I have a Square Enix game that I've been wanting to try. Like, I tried it, I think, maybe about a year or so ago, and my mind wasn't really into it. I didn't feel like I was getting into it the way I should. But I think I'm going to try that today and see how that all goes. Alright, you got a Blasphemous Blade. Seen this build before. Malekith armor set. Very good. Got that good holy. This is an intelligence build, so this is going to be a little bit different than maybe what you've seen in the past. The strategy is still the same, but the items used will be different. Let's put it that way. over here. Good show. What you got? Bad move. Says what happens when you spam. When you spam your skill over and over again, the boss starts to adapt. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. He turned his body. You can't. He had the sword in the ground and was turning. This game cheats too, I tell you. It's fine. Come on. I like cheating too. Let's go. What you got? Host is an idiot. Good. Let's go. It's all you, brother. Don't mess it up. I'm gonna keep the Elden Star busy. Nice. Do something with that. You're an idiot. All the stuff you could have done, and you set up pretty. You did the critical. Could have gotten way more damage. No, don't run. Don't run. Don't run. Don't run. I had the wrong. I didn't change my incantation. I pushed the button. This controller. My controller is like dying. It's got crazy drift and goodness gracious. It's like I still don't know. I've never had drift with a controller until I started playing this game. And my original controller started getting drift. And then I bought a new controller, and then it got drift within like 2 or 3 months. This game like kills controllers, I feel like. That's another reason too why I'm not buying another From Software game, because like I said, I've never had that problem with any other game except for this. I mean, I've heard people say that, when they play like first person shooters like Call of Duty and stuff, and I think it just has to do with like repetitive motion and stuff. But yeah, I have never had this happen before, but I don't play first person shooters either, so. All right. Can I do a fire giant fight? And then if it's fire giant, then I'm going to be done for today. If it's Radagon again, I'll do it, and then the next time I'm going to turn it off so that I can do fire giant. I just want one fire giant fight. Just, he's using a holy weapon against Radagon. Great, great, great. This person, the host, will be dead before we even get to the second phase. Before we even get to the Elden Beast, they'll be dead. You got a Fire Knight over there. Nice. I don't have a lot of optimism when I see a host with a holy weapon that doesn't. There goes the furl finger. Is that all the host is going to do? You wait for him to turn his back, and then you're going to. Is that all? You going to fight him? Y'all see this? Y'all watching this? I've played so much now that I have like a sixth sense when it comes to watching people play this game. I've played with so many different type of play styles. I've played with people using so many different types of weapons. Everything from spell users to just, flat out, hand and fist kind of people. Using Holy against Radagon, while it sounds like it's a good idea, really isn't. Really, it's not in your best interest. Not in your best interest. Because here's the thing. Radagon has a really high Holy defense, and so does the Elden Beast. And just as a reminder to the tip that I've said over and over again, the Elden Beast is immune to status effects. All of them. He's immune to frost. He's immune to bleed. He's immune to all of that. The best thing to use against Radagon and the Elden Beast is a physical attack or fire. Outside of that, you're sort of on your own, and you have to really rely on your skills and the configuration of your talisman and your character. But if you're just thinking in your mind, I want to beat the boss, going in with America's hammer is not a good idea. It's just not a good idea. Especially if all you're gonna do is just spam the little ground hit thing. That's lame. That's pretty lame. I think actually I'm done for today. I'm not really in the mood to watch that again or see anything else like it. It looks like the folks are playing, or either PvPers or people that haven't spent a lot of time with the bosses. So it's not as much fun. Like, I think a part of the fun for me in playing is watching how other people have learned to play the game. Not what they learned about watching YouTube videos, and not what they learned about trying to show off, but actually applying some type of skill that they've acquired to the game. And so when you don't see that, or at least let me speak for myself, when I don't see that, I'm not motivated to keep going. So you guys have a wonderful day. I said I'm going to take a break for about 10-15 minutes. I'm going to run to the kitchen, grab something to drink. And I'm thinking I might come back with something else. We'll see. I'm on the fence now. I kind of lost my motivation after seeing that. But if you're interested in seeing another game while I'm on my 10 or 15 minute break, feel free to leave a comment or say something now. If you want to see another game, I'm more than happy to. If you want to leave a comment, maybe recommend a game. I'll say right now, like I said, if you do recommend a game for me to play, I'm not interested in playing anything more from Software. So don't recommend those, because I won't even respond. I'm not interested in playing Hollow Knight or Silk Song. I'm just not into like platformers and stuff like that. If you can think of a good action adventure game or something like that, I do have Red Dead Redemption 2. I started to stream a while back of that. I might jump back into that again, but I'm actually thinking about something else. So take it easy, and we'll see you next time.